Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on Ravenport. We are going to carry straight on from where we left off in the last episode, so let's get to it. That's entirely possible. Anyway, our poplars are ready to harvest. Right, we have at least got that. The prices over here for eggs are still screaming upwards, which is fantastic. So we'll let those keep screaming upwards, and it might be that we just do the harvest for the poplars in the morning rather than doing it now, because I do want to bring this one back here. I'm going to park that one in there like that. There we go. Let's drop you there. Then I want to get the auto load trailer on up here. So it's 1700 now. 4,700 on eggs there. And it's 5:30 already. We haven't got that good a I mean, the price is getting better. It's heading towards something. That one's actually starting to go. Yeah, see that one there, the restaurant one. The restaurant is the one that normally ends up being the best price. But we've only got an hour before we want to go to bed. So what I'll do is I'm going to wait until, yeah, we'll go to bedtime, and then we will fast forward a smaller amount than we do normally. It says 4,900. It's whether or not we get the really good price tonight or in the morning. So if we let that go all the way up so that we can fast forward time, because I don't want to mess around too much with it. Then we press R like that, and we'll drop that down to, let's go 10 hours sleep. 7 o'clock, that'll take us until 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll see about getting a decent price on it. We'll just go with whatever we can get. So there we go. With 5 a.m. It's very dreary, and 5,599. That is about as brilliant a price as we're going to get. We will, though, just speed time up, and I'm going to keep an eye on that, because I don't want that to start coming down again. And I'm hoping that we can just get to at least a little bit of daylight. Okay, there we go, daylight, wish granted. 5,599. That is a spectacular price. That's at the restaurant. Let me put some lights on. There. Lights are good, but I would like to get the... ideally, I'd like to have a good price at the restaurant and daylight as well. If we can have both, that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. But we've got to keep a very close eye on that. As soon as that starts to tick down, we've got to stop. Let's put you on. Like that. And then we've got our pallets over there. We won't start loading yet. Okay, that's doing well. 7 o'clock in the morning. 5,599. Right, well, we know that the price isn't going to drop. We bring that right down. Great demand at barn. I was hoping for a great demand on one of these. That would have been very cool. Okay, the great demand on the barn is not for anything particular. And 4,700. So that's 4,000 there, and it's going up. But I think $5,599 per 1,000 litres for eggs is pretty sweet. I don't think that we can really complain about that as a deal. I think we're going to do all right with that. Let's just have a look at our animals then. So chickens, as far as food is concerned, is absolutely perfect. We do need to deal with some water for the sheep fairly soon. Horse conditions, those are fine for a few more days yet. We've got 65 and 75 there. And then we've got the new paddock over here. They're on 85, so one more day for those. And again, conditions for those are absolutely fine. So we don't need to worry about the horses. We've already got auto-load select pallets. We just want to turn you on with you. And unfortunately, it will load the empty pallets as well. We've got no choice in that matter now. We've got to take everything. But that's absolutely fine. So we've got 6 of 20. And I've got 24 lots of pallets here. So I can take 18 of them, and then we'll leave the other 6, and we'll do those we'll come back for them. Yeah, we'll do it like that. We'll leave the other 6, we'll come back for them. So if I press U, you know what? You know what we're going to do? we are going to unload them on here. And we're going to put straps over them as well. We're going to do this job. We're going to do this job properly. So we've got a lorry load of eggs, and we're going to be selling these at $5,599. Is it $5,599? I think it was. I'll check when we get up to the restaurant. Per 1,000 litres, and these are 10,000 litre boxes, 10,000 litre pallets. We got a lot of eggs on board. We have got a huge amount of eggs here. We're going to make a vast fortune on this lot. How much are we? We're minus 20 grand at the moment. What was the price? Yeah, 5,599, right up here. Bring that on up. Now, the important thing, when we take these straps off, is not to be moving. Right. Now we're not moving. Then we can slowly come up over onto here, and instantly all of those eggs start selling. That is a lot of eggs selling there. And I'll bring that to there like that. 600 632,000 for that lot, and then we've got the rest of them here, another 35. $670,000 for those. $670,000. Oh, that is amazing. We got to go and take these back. So we need to unload and place 6 pallets at each farm. So that bit's fairly easy to do. We just got to line it up right with the trailer. And then you unload, get 6 pallets lined up perfectly over each point, and then get the next bit. And you just keep working through them like that. It's very, very simple. But I've got a better idea of how we can do this, so that we're not going to be shunting backwards and forwards continuously trying to get this done. Well, I think I've got a better idea. So what that's going to involve is we're going to just dump this lot right here a minute. And if I go like that, and I press U, and then I press it again, and then I press B to put them out there, and I press Y, and I unload them. I'll drop them right there. We're going to ignore them for a minute. I'm going to go back this way, and I'm going to go and get those other eggs, because I want to get those, and I want to load them as well, because I'm curious just how much money we're going to get for all of this. So we go into there, and we press U like that. So we've got the 7 pallets on this one. Realised we had 7 on here. I'm not going to bother doing the straps and stuff with this. We'll just leave it like that. And I'll whiz this one up through as well. Curious if I can unload this onto the restaurant unload point, and we can make a sum of money like that, and then we pick them back up again. Sort of do it all in one hit. I do love the way that the prices work in this game. After you sell, it doesn't immediately impact the price. The price doesn't immediately drop down again. I think that is so much better than what it used to do, where you would sell something and then immediately the price would start dropping. And I really hated that. I really did not think that that was a good thing at all. Right, well, that apparently doesn't work. So let me try. I tell you what, I know what I can do. If we go like that, I am going to need to do this. So I need to move up, backward, move it left. Where's move right? Marker, move right. Oh, that's as close as it'll get. Alright, fine. That's not going to work. What we'll do is we'll unload it onto the lorry. We'll do what we normally do. I'll bring it to there, and then I will go B again. That's behind. It's over to that side. And then that's on the lorry itself. So then I will press Y and unload that onto the lorry, and I will do that so that we sell those eggs as well. All of them together is 200,000. Plus we had about 8 grand's worth on there already, didn't we? And right, I'll load them on. Just stop the loading. That's fine. Okay, so we got 210,000 there, 215,000, plus we had 670,000 previously. By my reckoning, that makes just shy, well, we're just under, we're about 20,000 shy of $900,000 from selling eggs, which is a ridiculous amount of money. So you can, in this game, yes, if you're picking up all of those boxes individually by hand, it is a very time-consuming process. But we have just shown why they made the game so that you had to have that time-consuming process to start with. Because if you don't have that time-consuming process for loading the eggs, it just kind of makes it too easy to make the money, doesn't it? You think about how much money we have just made doing that. That's almost a little bit unbalanced, isn't it? The amount of money that we've just made on that seems like it's a little bit unbalanced with the amount of cash that we have pulled in just from selling a few eggs. It shouldn't really get quite that much, should you? Right, so if I unload those there, I've got 6 pallets straight across the chicken pens. I got 1 pallet that's stuck on the end, which we'll probably end up getting rid of at some point. That is one that we'll probably end up selling. So the next thing that we do is we go down through here and we want to pick up 6. We just go next to it like this, and we very, very slowly and carefully will pick up 6 pallets like this. Go on a little bit further. There. Right, I've got 6 pallets. And then I can bring that back, and we'll just do this on each pen so that we can load them all in place. Yeah, it's still a little bit time-consuming, but it's nowhere near as time-consuming as going and getting that front loader and messing around with that. So we can bring that one over to there. We don't need to get particularly tight to it. We've just got to make sure that you get it in the right location. So 1, 2, 3 for B, like that. I do want to actually lift that up a bit, don't I? So let me go to that and move marker up with J. There we go. So I think that's about the right place. Yes, spot on, perfect. All 6 pallets are within the boundary of the thing. It might not be absolutely completely within that boundary, but they're close enough that they should all be getting eggs into them. So then we can back up and we can do exactly the same again. We can go and get another 6 pallets onto this one. So press U to start loading, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Switch that one off. And come back up here. This autoloader is absolutely brilliant. And so I don't know how many days that was. It was a few days. 2, 3 there. Right, I'll bring that one over there, and I'd say that would be about right. Drop those down there. That's close enough for me. It may not be exactly perfect, but we were previously advised not to drop those over the spawn point for like the first case, but that doesn't actually seem to affect it at all. So long as we've got these pallets somewhere on there, they seem to be absolutely fine. I've not encountered yet any issues with covering up that first little square. So maybe that was previously a bug, but is no longer. I'm not really sure about that. And then we've got you... No. Do we want to move that a little bit further away, I think. I'll move that... There we go. That's better. That's a more centralized position. You to there. Let's try that. There we go. They're all within the boundaries of the marker. I don't need any more. Right, now we can bring you over here. So the next thing that we're going to need to find is machinery for harvesting the poplars. We're also going to want to get started on planting stuff up the top. But before we do any of that, we're going to go over here. Look at that, 5599 for eggs. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful price that was. That was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, we're going to want to get all of that planted up there. But before we do that... Land. Now, this piece of land here, this is 1.2 million. We can't buy that. I could go and buy some of these, but this is the one that we want. biogas plant right there, $770,000. Well, we've got 863, so we're going to buy that bad boy. Right there, we now own the biogas plant, which means that we can do silage. We've got this right here ready for doing silage. We've got 2 routes out of this field. We can come onto the road over there and then down and into our biogas plant, or we can come out the end and across the track down here, straight up and into the biogas plant as well. So that's all covered as well. We've got no issues there. This is going to be fun. So next on our little to-do list, we want to get a machine for this bad boy right here, which would be a planter machine. Now, we do have, of course, the Tempo L16 right there, the Valtra, which is 7,000 litres, but most of that is fertilizer. There's not actually very much in the way of storage for the other. So even though it's 12 meters, we're still better off getting this one. Now, we could go and buy it, 93,000, but that's going to use up all the money that we've got. So we're going to lease this one. Yes, it's 9 meters and it's 12 meters. 9 meters is a good width. So we'll get that one right there. Let's go to details, and then we will lease that one. Yes, okay. And we won't worry about filling it up here. We will take that back down to our farm, and then we'll run it from there up to the top. And we can start planting. So we're going to be planting maize in the field at the top. We've got some stuff here. Some money. We've got money that we're going to need for leasing equipment for doing all of the silage harvest. We're going to get big trailers. We'll use probably some of Stevie's stuff just to speed that along, because it is going to be a fair old silage harvest once we get going with it. As soon as we've got this one, we'll get this one, we'll get it up to the field, we'll get it started, and just get going with it. And then, once we've done that, I'll probably do twice around the field manually. Maybe I'll just do once around the field. Then we will go and get our Fendt tractor. We'll take that one up to the dealership, and we will get the front bar that we need to get, and also the baler. I think we've got to get the front bar. I'm pretty sure we've got to get the front bar. We also want the baler, and we can start making bales of poplars. And this is something I'm quite looking forward to doing. This is something that we've never done before. It's all brand new, all part of that Anderson DLC. For those of you who are wondering what happened to the other stuff that I promised, because I said that there would be more giveaways, and then I never did one this Friday gone. Unfortunately, things happened that were beyond my control that stopped me from being able to do it. So, it didn't happen this week, but there will be more game giveaways. I'm hoping to have one come along at the end of this week instead. So, there will be more game giveaways. Now, this is what I detest about these tanks, right? You've got to get really, really close to these tanks. And they still don't work unless you're on exactly the right side of them. And, yeah. Like, they're just awkward. Like, they're really, really difficult to get anything loaded. It would also help if I had the correct tank open on here. I got the fertilizer one open on there. That's why that one was wrong. Okay, let's try that again. I'll bring you over here. There. We'll wiggle you back, and we'll bring this one over. Hopefully that's going to be in the right spot. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Right. We get that one loaded up there. See, it's only 2,000 litres of crop in there, of seeds in there, and then you've got the rest of it, 7,000 litres of fertilizer go in. It just seems like such a huge amount of one and hardly anything of the other. I don't really understand why the row crop planters are like that. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, but I'm sure there is actually a very valid reason. That's not anywhere near close enough. I need to bring it in like this, I suppose. I'll come over that way, maybe. And I'll bring it like that. Come up there. Let's try that. Nope. That's not close enough. It's gonna... This is where we find out that there's no front on these things. Honestly, it's a great mod. It really is. But it's poorly designed. It is definitely poorly designed, this mod. There's no see, you gotta sort of scramble all the way around. There is absolutely no indication on this thing whatsoever where you've got to be. The refill point is too close to it. It is good, but my goodness me, there is some significant room for improvement. And it seems to be worse now than it used to be in FS17. I'm not quite sure why. I have no idea why on that, but yeah. So I like that mod, but there was another one where you've got placeable seed bags that you could put down. You just like a pile of seed bags and a pile of fertilizer bags, like the standard looking refill points from both FS15 and FS17. And so I might be using those instead. We've still got the lime all over the field here with the poplars. It kind of looks like we got snow on the ground, doesn't it? It definitely looks like we've had a frost over the crop there, and it's affected it. It's quite cool. I like that look. It is quite good. We'll take this one on up here. So 7,000 litres of fertiliser. We've got the corn. We've got the plant up the top. We've got the biogas. That's all ready to go as well. The only thing we need to do now is get a crop of maize that is all planted and grown and ready to go, or corn if you depending where you are in the world, and then we will be able to start actually doing some harvest work. Right, we'll scramble up through here, across the road, and just wondering where I should start my planting. You got to plan it. You got to plan this correctly. You've got to have. I think that we want to do it about here. So we get this one unfolded, and we'll kind of start about here. So then, when we come around the second time round, it will cover that little bit over, and into the ground, and we're away. And this is it. And this is where Stevie's mods start to become rather awesome, because well, I mean, this is just the standard stuff here. So we're doing 9 miles an hour. Stevie, all his mods, they're all, the speed and capacities and everything, they're all increased. So you go a lot faster when you're doing your harvesting, you go a lot faster when you're doing your planting, and all of those sorts of things, and it really, really does make a huge difference to the performance of all of it. We'll worry about that another time. I'm thinking maybe if we just do once round the fields, just get that done, and then what I'm going to do, actually, we'll do once around the field, but then we'll start testing it against the railway just to see how it does the turn, to make sure that it doesn't turn onto the tracks. I don't want to risk it going over onto the railway track while it's trying to do its turn. As long as it doesn't do that, everything else is fine, right? We've got plenty of room around the fields. There's nothing else really for it to get hung up on. There's no traffic that should get in the way for it to get hung up on. So all the rest of it should, in theory, be all right. It's only the bit with the train tracks that might cause us some issues. And also, I'm not entirely sure how we're going to set this one going, because if you have it at too much of an angle, it will still stop. So it might be that we want to do short runs on the field, straight up and down here, rather than... I mean, I'm thinking long runs would be better if we were to be sort of straight up and down in line with the end of the field here. That would probably end up being the best way to do it. We'll have to wait and see on that. Yeah, I didn't go out too close to the road anywhere, so we shouldn't get any issues with, like... Well, I don't think we will at the moment. Like, with it behaving in an odd fashion when it comes to harvesting and things like that, I don't think it will. We may have the odd problem with it not going... Oh, I remember now why I wanted to leave the cultivator up here. It was just in case we needed to do any more, like, field redesign. We shouldn't need to. But yeah, if we do have any issues with, like, the field being level... I'm thinking the combine is the one that's going to have the most issues with trying to, like, do the outside round. Once the outside round is all done, the rest of the field should be absolutely fine for everything. There shouldn't be any issues. There might be one little tiny bit up there somewhere that needs to be cultivated. I don't think there is. I'm hoping not. And then, coming up along here, you can see there's a straight line that goes that way. That's the bit that I'm thinking might affect Like, it might sort of... That's the direction there. It goes in a straight line over that way. It shouldn't have any problems turning here, but it's when it gets to the other side, it might sort of be a little bit too much of a triangle for it to turn properly. So we'll have to keep an eye on that bit as well. There's lots of bits that we've got to keep an eye on, like loads of little issues that may or may not happen as we progress. Well, I haven't even done once round the field yet, and we've already used nearly 20% of the grain that's in this one, of the corn. Fertilizer, we've hardly used anything at all, and this is what I really don't understand about these row crop planters. It goes through the corn really silly fast, and it uses the fertilizer up at a really, really slow rate. And yet it's so unevenly spread. Now, is that because they've got the rates of application wrong when the machines are being used compared to real life? Or is this just like a normal thing? Because, you know, looking at it, the way that the seed's coming out, it's not individually loaded into each coulter, to each section there. You've got seed that comes out of the main tank that's coming along in front. So surely, if it's using it up at these kind of rates, wouldn't you have a more even spread of the two? Or even just put seed in, just not put fertilizer in it at all? I don't understand this. This is something that's very strange to me, is the way that it's divided up on these row crop planters. And I sort of thought that it was down to the fact that, or maybe the fertilizer uses up a lot faster, the seed uses up a lot slower. But I mean, you look at the rate we're using it here. We had 7,000 litres. We're using twice as much seed as we are fertilizer. And yes, admittedly, it's a large seed. You know, with corn, the volume of each individual seed is quite substantial when you compare it to anything. Just about any other seed. It is quite substantial, apart from maybe the soybeans. It is the biggest. I'm pretty sure it is the biggest seed. I think the soybeans are a bit bigger than the maize seed. Well, I say a bit bigger, about twice the size. The rest of them, I think there is any others really that are going to affect it. Now, ideally, I would want to put this going up here, but I want to do a quick test with how well it turns round up against the railway track. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this angle right here. I'm going to press H right there. I'm going to let that one drop down, and we will see if it's going to drive onto the railway tracks at all. Get to there, it's going to stop. It's backing up. This is a very good thing. I'm very, very pleased to see it backing up. It's backing up a very long way. It's turning. It appears to completely avoid going on the tracks. Right? It's completely avoiding going onto it. It's not allowing itself to go on the tracks at all. It's bringing it into this place right there, and then it's backing up. It's getting itself back into position and down again. And it's going to go up across there. Oh no, there isn't even a tiny little bit that's missed. Okay, and then it's going to get to there, and it's going to do the turn. Right, okay, so it didn't go on the tracks at all in any way, shape or form, but I don't want it to do there. What I'd like it to do is I'd like it to plant across here, because that is kind of in a straight line with the map. That right there would be a straight line with the map. So if we start there, I think, and we'll put it going across this way, goes all the way up across, we'll let it get and do this bit and then turn round. Well, there we go, folks. I'm afraid that's it. We've run out of time, which means that we need to head on home. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.